Hello, welcome in, welcome in. So what we're gonna be doing in this video is we're gonna start rigging, the part we've all been waiting for. 𝐒𝐲𝐬. So we're gonna do a very simple rig for the head first. It's not gonna be super 3D, it's gonna be very simple. We're gonna focus and worry about everything else. And then after that, we might revisit making the head more 3D. But for now, I just wanna help you guys at least get those basics done so you have an avatar that can work. It might not be the best looking 3D wise, but it's gonna function decently well for the time being. So we're gonna focus on that. So the first thing you wanna do is go to your face core warp if you haven't made one already. Make sure it is a parent to every single thing that's involved with the face. So you can see my hierarchy here. You can pause the video if you have to look at that and make sure you have the face core warp wrapping around all these things. We're gonna go to face core warp, and what we're gonna do first is do angle X. So you should have all these folders in here. Like I said earlier, if you didn't, you might have missed a step way earlier, but you can create new parameters on your own, but hopefully you have all this because you might run into some issues later. So if anybody's having problems with that, you can drop a comment down below and I can talk to you about how to fix it. Anyways, we've got the face folder. So I'm just going to drag all my angle X, Y, and Z in here. And I'm going to open that folder and make sure it goes angle Y, angle or X, Y, and then Z. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do X, which is back and forth, left and right. So that's what we want to focus on first. I'm also going to hold down Control and Alt and resize this around the face right now because I want it to be, actually it might need to be bigger. Hold on, because we've got the hair too. I'm gonna make it over encompassing everything about right there should be fine. What we'll do next is this is parameters right here. I explained a little bit about this, but parameters are gonna capture the movement that is going on with your character. These are super important for that. So that's what we'll be using these for, and I'll talk about the functions as we go through it. So with left and right, you're gonna have a middle one, which is gonna be your neutral position. You're gonna have usually looking right, or it depends on the thing, but for X, usually over here will be right, over here will be left. For Y, over here will be up, over here will be down. So Y is on an up and down axis, X is on a crossing over axis, and then Z is going to be your rotating. So we're going to go through all these three first right now and just get a very basic head rig. So first, angle X, we're going to click this 3 points here. We just want 3 points evenly across. That could give 3, this could give 2, this can clear your timeline if you need to clear it for any reason. So we're just going to add the 3. This should be able to have it so you have a custom table where you can add specific points. We can talk about that later. And what you're going to do is make sure you got the head in the neutral place right here. And then we're going to go to right. And now what you're going to do is I'm going to hold down shift. This is going to keep this mostly in line with looking to the right and move the head to the right. So I'm going to go about there. That looks about good to me. And then we're going to go back, click back, and you're going to right click to snap to these points. Make sure you're always right clicking. You don't want to be like in the middle. It'll usually, if you try to move it, it'll usually automatically move it to the snapped point, but still try to be cautious of that. And now we're going to right click on here, and then we're going to move to the left. So now we got left and right movement. Nice. Next, we're going to stay on face core warp. So keep in mind, whenever you add parameters, it's going to be assigned to the specific warp you add them to. So now if I click on cheeks, you can see all these are dimmed out because it's not recording on the cheek, it's recording here. So keep in mind that whatever you're recording on is going to be the specific warp that you have selected. Same for your rotators here. So we're going to go back to face core warp. That's the one we are on now. And we're going to do angle Y, and I'm just going to add another 3 with my 3, and then we're going to go right click to snap here, and we're going to look up. So you can go however far up you think you want your character to be looking up, and then we're going to snap back to the middle just to check it. You know, you can go and then slide it around to check, and then we're going to go to Y, and we're going to hold down shift and have her look down. So now we got up and down. Nice. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a little bit of a basic sort of 3D look. We're not going to go super intense with this. You can go more intensive, but I'm going to always make sure everything's snapped back to the middle before you, because you don't want to have this up and then to the right. That's going to mess you up. So make sure this is middle and make sure you're focusing on one thing at a time. So angle X, I'm going to go here and I'm going to pull these green points. You can pull these ones right here, but you can use them sometimes. There are times to use them, but I'd recommend starting to use the top if you can. That's going to be your best bet. These green ones here. I'm just going to pull these in, give a bit of a 3D look. Again, this could give it a little bit of a squashed look. So you want to be really careful with it. And there's ways to make this a lot more 3D. And again, we can talk about that later. But right now we're getting a super duper basic thing down because it's very important to focus on the basics before you get too involved with stuff and get it confusing. So this is really not the best again, but it's okay. It works. It works for a version 1.0 model, and we can always improve and work on stuff later. It's about learning this process so it will be easier for you to, you know, make improvements and do other things later so you can understand it. So now we're going to go over to left, and I'm going to do the same thing, sort of pull this in a bit. All right. And then we should have a left and right. The ears moving, I don't know how I feel about that. Again, we could change it later. That'll be okay right now. We'll fix it later. So angle Z, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to face rotation for this one. So make sure you click on your face rotation, and we have the 3 here already. So it looks like I already got my angle Z working on the rotation. I already set this up, but I'll show you again. I'm just gonna clear the points and I'm gonna add 3. So we're gonna right click to snap, and I'm just gonna take my rotator and go there. Now we got that. And then we're gonna snap to left and then rotate. Nice. Okay, we got that. Then we'll go back to middle. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna link X and Y. So just click these links, and also never be afraid to unlink them. You can unlink them at any time. It's not gonna break anything that you set up already, or at least it shouldn't. I've done it a few times and it's been fine. And next we're just gonna click the little burger menu and click synthesize corners, but make sure you're on face core warp when you click the synthesize corners or whatever thing you're trying to synthesize. So we're gonna synthesize X and Y, and now it should calculate all the different angles in between, looking upper, left, right, and you can edit all those individually again, but this is a quick way to do it. We got those linked up. That's good. Our face should be good to go now. And what I'm going to do really quick is we're just going to test this in PRPR Live. And again, I'll explain this at the end of the video, how PRPR Lives will do an in-depth tutorial on that as well. But this is just my way of quick testing to see how things are working so far. So I'm going to export for runtime, export MO3 file. I'm going to wait for this to load because I guess Live2D is freaking out. Okay. And then I'm just going to put I'm just going to do 3.1. And also another thing I highly encourage, because I've run into issues where I had to completely restart because things have messed up. I highly recommend you to constantly be saving multiple versions whenever you get a really big success. So like we just finished doing the head. So something that you might want to do is save as, and then this is a version 3.1. So we want to save, we have a 3.0, this is 3.1. And now when we do like the next section, maybe we'll save a 3.2. So you'll always have earlier versions to go back to, because if you don't have those and you lose everything and have to restart, that's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun. So I'm going to open up my PRPR Live. And if you don't have this, again, I'll leave this down below. PRPR Live, we're going to launch this. There's other programs too for Live2D, but I like PRPR Live the best so far. There's some other programs I want to check out and I might do some tutorials on, but we'll roll with this for now. So I'm just going to click on Live2D. I'm going to load in my model. So it should go to you should go to your model. We're going to go to current projects. Mine should be in Saya 3.0. in 3.1. So we got that there. I'm just going to double click on this, going to load it in. I'm going to hold down Alt key and scroll in. And now we're going to go to face capture settings and do start capture. And actually, I don't think I can do this because I have 3teen open. So I'm going to have to close my 3teen. Most of the time, you can only be using one video device at a time, or otherwise it's going to freak out. Okay, see? So look, so far we've got rotating. We've got looking to the left, looking to the right. So that's really awesome. We already have like a big core chunk of this done. And this, again, this is not super 3D. This is way more 2D, but the potential for making super 3D, 2D avatars in Live2D is very possible. I have yet to learn a lot of that stuff. And of course, I will always share my findings with you guys. But always check in every once in a while to see how things are going for your model. Okay, so next, I think we're gonna do our eye movement next. We'll do blinking after that, but let's move on to moving our irises. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the eyeball next. The iris is moving around, so you're gonna create a new folder and we're gonna call this eyeball. And you're gonna want to bring the eyeball X and eyeball Y into there. So I'm just gonna select both of those and move them in, and they should be good to go. So you can have X on top and Y on bottom. And for eyeball X and Y, we're gonna have the same thing. So we're gonna have 3, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're gonna do 3. So we'll do 3 here. Whoops. Actually, you need to make sure you select the warp that you're going to be moving first. So go ahead and open your face core warp, and we're going to go ahead and find IL warp. We'll do eye left first, and go down to IL position where your pupil's in, and then we're going to add 3 there, and we're going to add 3 here as well. So first we're going to do left to right. So let's move that over here. And also we're going to want to clip our eye. You see how that's going outside? So we're going to want to clip it to staying in the white. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to the left eye white, and you're going to copy this ID right here, Command C, and then go back to your pupil and put clipping ID. So this will allow it so that it can only stay within the white. See that? So you can use this clipping ID in any case scenario with anything that you might need to use it for. So keep that in mind. That's what the clipping ID section is for. You take the ID of the thing and then you use the clipping ID. And if you get it mixed up, just try it the other way around. Like if you were trying to use the clipping ID, because I don't know exactly how it works, so I just do it until it works, so you can just test it out. So we're gonna go back to IL position on our green highlights, and we're gonna move that to the right. All right, and then we're gonna go snap to the left, and then we're gonna move this to the left. And we might need to do clipping ID for our highlight too, because as you can see, that's popping out. So we're just gonna go ahead and copy the clipping ID again. And we're gonna go down to our highlights and I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in all of them just to be safe. Nice. So now it should be clipping underneath there. Let's see. Yeah. And it's going a little bit underneath the white. I'm not sure why it's doing that at the moment, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about it though. We got left and right. Then we're going to do our up and down. Remember, Y is up and down, X is left and right. So Y, we're going to go, and this is when you might want to move your highlights, which is why we have them on different things. And you do the same thing. You'd give it the 3 points and you can move the highlight down if you didn't want them to be all awkward and up like that. But again, we're just focusing on basic stuff right now. We can make little tweaks and all that later. So we got our up. You don't want to put it all the way too up because it's just going to look weird. Try to do it natural. Like, I mean, as a human being, I guess you could like put your eye all the way up like that, but it's unlikely. So now we're going to go down here and then we're just going to go down. So now we got up and down as well. Cool. So now we're going to go to the IR position and we're going to do the clipping ID again. So we're going to copy this ID and then go ahead and paste it into the pupil. I'm going to do the same thing for the eye highlights. So that's ready. We're going to paste that. Okay. Then we're going to go back to IR position and we're going to add our 3. We're going to add our 3 on both. So let's do X first. So we're just going to do looking to the right and you can have it snapped over there so you can see about how much you want to move it over. So there's our looking to the right. That looks about good. And then we're going to go looking to the left. So now we got looking left and right. And then we're going to do our up. You can see how the highlights are having issues there. And that's something I might have to look into. I'm not sure exactly why it's doing that. So you will run into little problems like this, but try to put your thinking cap on and think about how you can solve the problem with the knowledge that I've given you already. So now we got our eyes moving. Awesome. So I'm just going to save that. And now again, we'll go ahead and test it. So I'm going to export it again for runtime as MO3. We'll click OK. I'm going to save this as 3.2. Remember how I said we're going to save multiple working versions in case anything messes up so we can go to an earlier version. And then we're also going to save this as a 3 point. And I think this has a naming convention and system where it like knows when you're going up versions. Sometimes it does it automatically, you've noticed, but you can always check that. All right, so now we're just going to open PRPR Live and I'm just going to take out this. I'm just going to refresh it. I exited that out. I'm going to load in the 3.2. Double click on that. Okay. Alt, scroll wheel, and then we're going to go to face cap and start the capture. Oh yeah, we have to, once again, I have to close my routine. We ran into the same issue. Okay, now we'll start cap. And look at that. So now I have the eyeballs going around following my cursor. And there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can do cursor or you can do face capture. So you can have it following your eyes when you're looking around. Mine does not look good right now doing that. So it depends on your avatar, but I think cursor is the most effective. And I like cursor the most. So now we got her eyes moving. And again, you can adjust this if you don't want it to be like but that's what we got so far. All right, so that should be pretty much everything for this video. We're gonna do eyebrows in the next video. We're gonna be starting to do the eyebrows and then probably eye blinking next. And maybe we'll save mouth for the video after that. I know this is a long series, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. It's a lot of work, you know, making a 2D model is a lot of work and you should be proud of yourself for coming this far because it is a ton of work, but it's a very valuable skill. It's nice to know. It's something that could honestly just be a really good skill set for you to have as an artist or an animator or anything like that. So drop in the comments, let me know what you guys are thinking. You know, what things have you been struggling with as far as making your character so far? Is there anything that you wish was easier? Is there anything you wish they would add to Live2D Cubism? I'd love to hear your thoughts. This has been a very fun series so far. I'm really glad I can help you guys on your journey, but we will see you in the next video. And if you want to join a lovely community where you can hang out with artists in a voice chat while working on stuff, or, you know, just chat with everyone, you can join our Discord. That link will also be down below. Super great community. We just hit over 1,000 members in the Discord community. Everybody's wonderful there. It's a very cozy atmosphere. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next part. Thanks for hanging out.